Hello and welcome to Zero Chi. Today I'll read an excerpt from Freedom from Illusion, The Book of Ego by Osho, followed by my personal thoughts and reflections. This is an incredible book, one I think everyone should read at least once. Let's begin. To transcend the mind is the whole art of meditation, and the East has devoted almost 10,000 years to the single purpose, all its intelligence and genius, of discovering how to transcend the mind and its conditionings. That whole effort of 10,000 years has culminated in refining the method of meditation. In a single word, meditation means watching the mind, witnessing the mind. If you can witness the mind, just silently looking at it, without any justification, without any appreciation, without any condemnation, with no judgment at all, for or against, simply watching as if you have nothing to do with it. It is just the traffic that goes on in the mind. Stand by the side and watch it. And the miracle of meditation is that just by watching it, it slowly disappears. The moment the mind disappears, you come to the last door, which is very fragile, and that is not polluted by the society, your heart. In fact, your heart immediately gives you away. It never prevents you. It is ready almost every moment for you to come to it, and it will open the door toward the being. The heart is your friend. The head is your enemy. The body is your friend. The heart is your friend. But just in between the two stands the enemy like a Himalaya, a big wall of mountain. But it can be crossed by a simple method. Gautam Buddha called the method Vipassana, Patanjali called the method Dhyan, and the Sanskrit word Dhyan became, in China, Chan, and in Japan, it became Zen. But it is the same word. In English, there is no exact equivalent for Zen, or Dhyan, or Chan. We arbitrarily use the word meditation. But you should remember, whatever meaning is given to the word meditation in your dictionaries is not the meaning as I am using it. All the dictionaries will say, meditation means thinking about something. Whenever I say to a Western mind, meditate, the immediate question is, on what? The reason is that in the West, meditation never developed to the point Dhyan or Chan or Zen have developed in the East. Meditation means simply awareness, not thinking about something or concentrating on something or contemplating something. The Western word is always concerned with something. Meditation, as I am using it, simply means a state of awareness. Just like a mirror. Do you think a mirror is trying to concentrate on something? Whatever comes before it is reflected, but the mirror is unconcerned. Whether a beautiful woman comes before it or an ugly woman comes before it or nobody comes before it, it is absolutely unconcerned. A simple reflective source. Meditation is only a reflecting awareness. You simply watch whatever comes in front of you, and by this simple watching, the mind disappears. You have heard about miracles, but this is the only miracle. All other miracles are simply stories. Jesus walking on water or turning water into wine or making dead people come to life again are all beautiful stories. If they are symbolically understood, they have great significance. But if you insist that they are historical facts, then you are being simply stupid. Symbolically, they are beautiful. Symbolically, every master in the world is bringing people to life who are dead. What am I doing here? Pulling people out of their graves. And Jesus pulled out Lazarus after he had been dead only 4 days. I have been pulling people out who have been dead for years, for lives. And because they have lived in their graves so long, they are very reluctant to come out. They give all their resistance. What are you doing? This is our house. We have lived here peacefully. Don't disturb us. Symbolically, it is right. Every master is trying to give you a new life. As you are not really alive. You are just vegetating. If the miracles are interpreted as metaphors, they have a beauty. I am reminded of a strange story which Christians have completely dropped from their scriptures, but it exists in the Sufi literature. The Sufi story is about Jesus. Jesus is coming into a town, and just as he enters, he sees a man whom he recognizes. He had known him before. He was blind, and Jesus had cured his eyes. That man is running after a prostitute. Jesus stops the man and asks him, "Do you remember me?" He said, "Yes, I remember you, and I can never forgive you. I was blind, and I was perfectly happy because I had never seen any beauty. You gave me eyes. Now tell me, what am I to do with these eyes? These eyes are attracted toward beautiful women." Jesus could not believe. He was stunned, shocked. "I thought I had done a great service to this man, and he is angry. He is saying, 'Before you gave me eyes, I never thought about women. I never thought that there were prostitutes. But since you have given me eyes, you have destroyed me.'" Jesus leaves the man without saying anything. There is nothing to say. And as he moves on, he finds another man lying in the gutter, saying all kinds of meaningless things, completely drunk. Jesus pulls him out of the gutter and recognizes that he had healed his legs. But now he is feeling a little shaky himself. He asks the man, "Do you know me?" The man says, "Yes, I know you. Even though I am drunk, I cannot forgive you. It is you who disturbed my peaceful life. Without legs, I could not go anywhere. I was a peaceful person. No fighting, no gambling, no question of friends, no question of going to the pub. You gave me legs, and since then I have not found a single moment of peacefulness, of sitting silently. I am running after this, after that, and in the end, when I am tired, I get drunk. And you can see yourself what is happening to me. You are responsible for my situation. You should have told me beforehand that if I was getting legs, all these problems were going to arise. You did not warn me. You simply cured me without even asking my permission." Jesus became so freaked, he left the city. He did not go any further. He said, "Who knows what kind of people I am going to meet?" But as he was coming out of the city, he saw a man who was trying to hang himself from a tree. He said, "Wait, what are you doing?" He said, "You have come again. I was dead and you forced me to be alive again. Now I don't have employment. My wife has left me because she thinks a man who has died cannot be revived. She thinks I am a ghost. Nobody wants to meet me. Friends simply don't recognize me. I go into the city and people don't look at me. Now what do you want me to do? And now when I am going to hang myself, you are here again. What kind of revenge are you taking? Can't you leave me alone? Now I cannot even hang myself. Once I was dead and you revived me. If I hang myself, you are going to revive me again. You are so intent on making miracles, you don't even care who the sufferers of your miracles are." When I came to see this story, I loved it. Every Christian should know of it. There is no miracle except one, and that is the miracle of meditation that takes you away from the mind. The heart is always welcoming you. It is always ready to give you a way, to guide you toward your being. And the being is your wholeness, it is your ultimate well-being. Meditation is nothing but a device. Meditation is nothing but a device to make you aware of your real self, which is not created by you, which need not be created by you, which you already are. You are born with it. You are it. It needs to be discovered. If this is not possible, or if the society does not allow it to happen, and no society allows it to happen, because the real self is dangerous. It is dangerous for the established church, dangerous for the state, dangerous for the crowd, dangerous for the tradition, because once a man knows his real self, he becomes an individual. He no longer belongs to the mob psychology. He will not be superstitious, and he cannot be exploited, and he cannot be led like cattle. He cannot be ordered and commanded. He will live according to his light. He will live from his own inwardness. His life will have tremendous beauty, integrity. Meditation helps you to grow your own intuitive faculty. It becomes very clear what is going to fulfill you, what is going to help you flower, and whatever it is going to be different for each individual. That is the meaning of the word individual. Everybody is unique, and to seek and search for your uniqueness is a great thrill, a great adventure. The first time I read this, I couldn't help but laugh a little. It's deeply thought-provoking, but also sharp in its honesty. Osho's take on meditation resonates deeply with me, especially the idea that meditation is simply awareness, not thinking, not concentrating, but simply being. I've always found the phrase, meditate on something, a bit bothersome. Actively thinking about something isn't meditation, it's reflection or analysis. And while reflection, analysis, and even prayer and journaling are all beneficial practices in their own right, they're distinctly different from the practice of meditation itself. You can take a moment for self-reflection and analyze a particular situation, but then you have to release it in order to achieve a state of meditation. For me, meditation is about listening. I don't pray in the traditional sense, but I talk to spirit, source energy, and my ancestors every day. Then when I meditate, I stop talking and I start listening. It's a conversation, both are necessary. I communicate my thoughts to the universe, sometimes aloud, sometimes in writing, and then I meditate to receive. Writing before meditation has been especially powerful for me. It helps to clear the mind and prepares you for stillness. You have to communicate with spirit. But remember, it's not a conversation unless you're listening as well. Listening is the most important part of the conversation. Most of us do a lot of talking, but rarely listen intently. You can approach source energy as a beggar, constantly complaining and only consulting spirit or God when you need something. Often this comes from a place of lack, using I statements and emphasizing your needs to express the intensity of your frustration. This, of course, only manifests more lack. Or you can have an open, honest conversation with God, where you share your thoughts and feelings, ask for guidance and clarity, and then release it and trust that it will be resolved. Trust that clarity will come to you. Clear the channel so you can receive. When you meditate, you tap into your intuition, and your intuition is the voice of God. I believe Vipassana meditation, which is rooted in pure observation, captures the essence of meditation better than any other method. It's the ultimate act of courage, sitting alone with yourself, no distractions, no escape, nothing to comfort you. It forces you to confront your fears, your truths, and ultimately, yourself. That kind of radical honesty and authenticity is transformational. Unfortunately, most of us are running from ourselves, too afraid to truly face ourselves. That's why we usually opt for some kind of distraction and avoid spending time alone. And I get it. I've been there. Years ago, I experienced one of the most challenging and yet transformative periods of my life. My life was so chaotic, physically and emotionally. I'd been ignoring truths that were glaringly obvious, staying busy to avoid confronting my reality. When I finally faced myself and realized the truth of my situation, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Life forced me to stop. You see, before that day I was always busy. I was always doing something. Even when I didn't have something that needed to be done, I would find something to do. I was running from reality, keeping myself busy, because I was avoiding ending a toxic relationship that was already dead. I was avoiding standing up for myself against bullying individuals, avoiding addressing the systematic oppression that always seemed to succeed at making my life harder. I had become so consumed with making everyone else happy, and I was losing myself in the process. And there I was alone and injured, literally, with a separated shoulder from a cycling accident while still recovering from a concussion from another cycling accident just a month and a half prior. I remember sitting on my bedroom floor, staring in the mirror, and I didn't even recognize myself. I felt drained, broken, disconnected, and lost, completely unsure of my future. But I knew one thing for certain. I couldn't keep living the way I had been. I was at my breaking point. That day, I stopped everything. I went silent. I sat with myself in a way I never had before, as though I had taken a vow of silence. I had been unhappy for so long. That state of dis-ease had manifested in my body as well. I was always sick, with these mystery symptoms that no doctor ever had a solution for, just more medication that never truly worked. It was summertime in California. I had been living in Emeryville, just above Oakland, while attending school in San Francisco. At the end of the spring semester, one of my photography instructors gave me an F on my final, claiming I hadn't turned it in. This was despite the fact that I had dragged myself across the Bay Area with a concussion to submit it on time, vomiting from severe motion sickness the entire way. You see, when you're receiving assistance to pay for school, you can't afford to fail a class. If you fail, you have to pay that money back. And as a full-time art student whose only source of income was brand ambassador gigs to cover a $2,400 apartment without any help from my then partner who was living with me, the last thing I needed was to pay for a $6,000 class just because a teacher decided to use his power and authority to make my life difficult. Despite my effort, I couldn't shake the feeling of being unfairly targeted. So, I fought back. I emailed the department head, determined not to return to school unless my grade was corrected. This was also the turning point. Instead of opting to have surgery on my separated shoulder, I chose to heal naturally. That choice led me to explore massage therapy. I enrolled in a massage therapy school, deciding that if my photography grade wasn't corrected before the next semester, I wouldn't go back to my old program. I would withdraw from the school and never return. Of course, the school took their time addressing the situation. The first day of massage therapy school arrived, and we were tasked with a self-assessment and reflection on our current state, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. The goal was to heal yourself before embarking on a journey and practice of healing others. That was the most profound and beneficial assignment I've ever received, and it triggered my transformation. That's when I recognized the truth of my then reality. During the day of silence that followed, I gained immense clarity. Shortly after, I ended that relationship that had been weighing on me. It didn't end smoothly, but it was necessary, and I came out stronger. When you live together, the transition is always more challenging. I moved out of my apartment, recognizing that my personal health and safety needed to come first. I ended up relocating near the beach in San Francisco, which turned out to be a much better fit for me. Meanwhile, the school finally corrected my grade, after the new semester had already started, of course. By then, I had already decided to leave and fully pursue massage therapy. That decision was life-changing. Rapid transformation followed, all sparked by meditation. Meditation gave me clarity when I needed it most. It grounded me, guided me back to alignment, and became the tool that healed me. It brought me out of my head and back into my body. It transformed my mind, and with it, my entire life. This is the power of meditation. We have all these stories, but what's the purpose of the story? What's the lesson to be learned? We tell stories to convey a message. There's always a deeper meaning. This is just one example of how life forces us to stop and reflect. Meditation isn't just a practice. It's a tool for survival, for healing, and for rediscovering yourself. As Osho reminds us, meditation is the ultimate miracle. It's not about escaping life. It's about embracing it fully, with awareness and clarity. It's about having the courage to face yourself and make necessary changes. I also want to talk about the Sufi story. The story of Jesus carries a profound lesson about the dynamics of giving and receiving help. When someone is offered something they didn't ask for, no matter how life-changing or beneficial, it's possible they won't recognize its value. Not only might they fail to appreciate it, but they could even perceive the giver as an adversary. This paradox reflects a deeper truth about human nature. Sometimes people resist assistance, even when it's exactly what they need to heal or grow. This idea connects with the Taoist principle of non-interference, of not trying to change anyone, but instead allowing them to express their true nature. However, this raises an interesting contradiction. When someone is trapped in self-sabotage or pain, are they truly being their authentic selves? If their actions stem from fear, blindness, or unconscious patterns, is it possible they're disconnected from their essence? Possibly due to outside interference and manipulation. Just a thought. Also in Taoism, effortless action, Wu Wei, suggests that true transformation doesn't come from force, but from embodying light and love so completely that others are naturally inspired to reconnect with their own truth. A truly loving person sees beyond another's wounds or resistance to their true self. Through their presence and compassion, they may offer help even if it isn't explicitly asked for, because their light illuminates the path for others. This also reminds me of a quote from Abraham Hicks. You can be a lot of help to a lot of people as long as you don't need credit for it. This resonates deeply because it highlights the selfless nature of true giving. When we give without needing recognition or appreciation, we detach from the ego and focus solely on the well-being of others. In this way, helping someone reconnect with their true self isn't about imposing change, but about creating a space for them to awaken. It's like reigniting a flame that has dimmed, a process that doesn't force, but invites. From this perspective, the act of bringing someone back to life is symbolic of reminding them of their own inner light, which they may have forgotten. Perhaps the story of Jesus illustrates this balance, the tension between offering help out of love and the resistance or misunderstanding it might provoke. It's a reminder of the grace needed in offering help and the wisdom to let go of attachment to the outcome, trusting that the light we embody may inspire others when the time is right. If you've ever felt lost or stuck, I hope this inspires you to pause, reflect, and embrace the journey. Thank you for being here with me today. Until next time, remain present, keep growing, and stay connected to your true self. I love you. Namaste.